and says, "I'm a police officer. You're under arrest." It would turn out this was a sting operation. Michael Piper, the undercover police officer, had been following around Tim and his partner for months. In Michigan at the time, if you were caught trying to sell 650 grams or more of cocaine, there was an automatic penalty of a life sentence. And Tim and his partner had just been arrested trying to sell more than 650 grams of cocaine. And so, facing a life sentence, Tim took a deal that gave him a lesser sentence in exchange for information about other drug dealers. And so, Tim would ultimately serve 2 years and 4 months in a federal penitentiary before he was released. Tim would say his time in prison was absolutely miserable, but it was necessary. It matured him in a major way, and it honed his sense of humor. Tim was always a very funny guy. He was always the class clown, the guy goofing around. But in prison, he found
Mr.
it a
Ballin, he's
very
so funny
difficult
to watch.
task to get
Just
the
listen to
hardened
his
prisoners
stories.
and prison guards to laugh at his jokes. But eventually, with enough
Can't play
practice and
music, then
repetition, he could get
listen to this
anybody
show.
in that prison to laugh at him. And so by the time he got out, he was like an amazing comedian. And so he decided, you know what? Why don't I pursue a career in comedy? 4 years later, Tim Dick, better known as Tim Allen, landed the starring role on the hit TV show Home Improvement. And from there, he starred in dozens more movies and TV shows. But he's probably best known for his voice acting in the very popular movie series Toy Story, where he plays Buzz Lightyear. Today, Tim is sober and has been for decades. In 1964, during his final semester of college in Wisconsin, a 21-year-old man named Harry decided to take an acting class. He believed it would be an easy A, and he'd always been pretty shy, and so he figured this class might be able to help him get over that. But this class wound up having a much larger impact on Harry's life than he ever could have imagined. Not only did he meet his future wife in this class, but he also realized he loved acting, something he never thought he would like, and he decided after college that that was the thing he was going to pursue. And so after he graduates later that year, he and his girlfriend get married, and then they fly out to Hollywood, California, where Harry auditions for Columbia Pictures' New Talent Program, which is basically this program that's designed to help new actors and actresses get parts in Hollywood because it's so hard to do that. And so he's accepted into this program. He signs a contract with them that pays him almost nothing. And right away, they start shopping him around for different parts in TV shows and movies, but nobody was interested in Harry. Nobody. The only roles he was getting were incredibly minor and usually non-speaking, and so it was really not advancing his career. Then, in 1966, so 2 years after he and his wife had arrived in Hollywood, Harry received what seemed like his first big break. He was offered a speaking role in a movie, although it was a very minor role. It was a 60-second bit where Harry basically walked on screen in this hotel, and he started calling out for a particular guest. And when he finds this guest, he walks up and gives him a piece of paper, and then he leaves. So it's a forgettable scene, but it's a real scene in a real movie. And so this was a big deal for Harry. And so after Harry goes over to the studio and he films this whole scene and it's all done, he goes back over to the headquarters of the New Talent Program at Columbia Pictures. And as soon as he goes inside, one of the producers that was in charge of this New Talent Program, who had apparently had a chance already to see this 60-second scene in this movie that Harry was in, he calls Harry over and asks him to go to his office for a second. So they're going to his office, they both sit down, and the guy looks at him and says, "Look, I just got to shoot you straight here. You're not going to make it in Hollywood." To go underneath the paint so it doesn't dry out as Tony
fast.
Curtis was told to carry groceries across this room in one of his first
Thinking about
movies.
painting a little bit. I haven't painted in so long,
That guy, he's going to be a movie star. You could see it in the scene, even though all he was doing was carrying groceries. And when you
listen to Mr. Ballin. I like to listen to some of his shows when he's I can't listen to the music, so.
For reference, Tony Curtis, the guy this producer was
Oh, thank you.
was a huge movie star in the 1950s and 1960s.
Yeah,
and so
try to be positive. You gotta find the good things in life.
And then he leans across the table and looks at this producer and squints his eyes and says,
I just squirted paint all over me already. I'm so glad I wore this hoodie. You guys see that? I don't know if you caught that.
And at this totally smart aleck remark, the producer fired Harry on the spot. Harry would go on to sign a similar New Talent Program deal with Universal Studios.
Gave me a compliment. I just like. There we go.
And the feedback he finally got was, "Harry, you're just not pretty enough,
it's
and
okay.
you're not really that talented."
So I wore this hoodie, so I didn't get the thing on here.
Harry was in his mid-30s, and while he still
Yeah, if you
aspired
guys
to
would
be an
sub
actor
and
and
like,
he
that'd be
wanted to be
awesome.
an actor, he was making almost no money from acting. So
Because
he
ultimately,
decided
yeah, that would
instead of
be
acting,
the
he was going to
goal,
become
but
a
at the same
carpenter.
time, I'm
That
just
was going to be
Sean,
his
so
full-time job. Despite the fact
it's pretty
he knew
cool.
nothing about carpentry. So
Where's
he
everybody
literally, just because he
from?
has this interest in carpentry, goes to the library and checks out all these
Thank
how
you.
to be a carpenter books. And over
Thank
the
you for
next couple
liking
of
that. I
weeks, he
appreciate that.
studies these books and does a couple projects around his own house. And then finally, he just felt confident enough,
It's my
or he was just
palette.
desperate enough
And
for
so I'm
money,
just putting the
that he
colors
began
on
going
the,
around to his network and asking people
start
in
to play with them
Hollywood
a little
if
bit.
they needed some woodworking. They needed help from a
Las
carpenter.
Vegas,
And
yeah,
surprisingly,
baby.
lots of people took him up on his offer and they hired him to be their
Oh, in
carpenter.
Chicago.
And before
Oh,
long,
yeah.
Harry was dubbed the
I'm
carpenter to the
in
stars,
Tacoma,
which is kind of
Washington.
ironic
So
because he
kind of
actually
near
was not
Seattle,
a very good carpenter,
just south of
and he was
Seattle.
regularly seen on the job, literally holding a
It
book,
looks like we're all in
teaching
big
how to be
cities,
a
huh?
carpenter
Or
while
most of
doing the
us.
carpentry with his other hand. In 1976, Harry was a
The moment
full-fledged
anyway, right?
carpenter and had been for about a year when one of his very close friends named Fred Roos, who was
Hilltop.
a casting director and film producer,
Hello,
gave
my
him a
neighbor.
call and told
Hello.
him he had a very unique opportunity for him. Now, at this point, Harry was not looking for any
Oh,
more
yeah.
acting roles. He kind of figured that that ship had sailed, even
Oh,
though
thank
he
you.
wishes he could be an actor. At this point, he had a wife,
Thanks.
he had 2 sons, and so he's thinking, I gotta just keep doing this carpentry
Yeah, I
thing
love
because I gotta
Tacoma.
pay the
I
bills.
really do.
And
I
so he
really
says to
like it
Fred,
here.
I
I don't
appreciate
think
the offer, whatever this is, but
most people
if it has to
realize
do
how
with acting,
beautiful it
I'm
is.
just not interested. And
The
Fred, who
clean
was one of the
air.
very
There's so
few
many
people in
things that are
Hollywood
good
who
about where we are
fundamentally
from.
believed Harry was destined to
But
be a star,
most
told
people,
Harry,
I'm sure
no,
they
no,
find lots of
this
reasons
is
to like
different.
where they're
This
from.
is not a pure go
We have
out and
like
try out for the part and hope for the best. This is like
mountain
you
views
put
from
yourself in a
here,
good position
and then we
and
can see the
maybe
ocean
somebody
or
will
the sea,
discover
I should
you're as
say,
talented as you
which is
really
really
are.
cool too.
And so
So,
Harry's like, okay, tell me about this
hey,
opportunity. I'm interested.
how
And
are
so Fred
you?
explained there was
I
this
can't see
really
very well
talented
from
and
here, but
eccentric film director
sounds like
who
having a
was
hard
trying
time
to
reading
cast
names.
an upcoming movie. And the
Alleyway.
way he went about casting the movies was a little bit strange. Instead of having each of the actors and actresses show up and
Yeah.
individually audition for their parts, he would
Teriyaki.
group
I know,
batches of
because when I
actors
went
and
back east,
actresses,
I
and he
was
would have them audition
a little
as a group,
surprised. I
because that
didn't
way
find
he
any
could tell if there was
teriyaki that I,
chemistry amongst some of the actors
anywhere
and
really.
actresses, and he could gauge their
I was in
individual
Pennsylvania,
talent.
so I don't know.
And so
But
he had all these
that's one of the
groups
first
already
things I did
planned
when I
out,
got back
but
is
one of the groups was missing one male
get some
actor, somebody
teriyaki.
that dropped out at the last minute and was not going to be there on the day of the audition. And so when Fred
Mhm,
Bruce
yeah.
heard through the grapevine that this director was going to be short this one person, he immediately reached out to the director
Thank
and
you,
said, hey,
Reese. I
I
appreciate
got your
that.
guy. There's this guy, Harry. He's
Yeah,
got a little bit of acting. He's incredibly
I
talented.
hope
You've
I
got to give
can
him a
create
chance.
something
At
too.
the minimum, he can come in there and he can at least just read the lines and help me do this audition. But I know he's available that day, and I know he would love to help. And so this director tells Fred, okay, thank
First,
you.
I'm going to do
I'd
this
love
white
to have him come down, but stress to him, he is not
paint
auditioning for any part in
just
this movie.
to
I'm not bringing in some person and just
keep
throwing
it
him
from
in. It takes
drying
me a
out.
long
So
time to find people that
then
I
you can
want
paint
to
over it.
audition, and he is
Showing
not
your
one of
blending.
them. He is just there to facilitate the audition. He's just going to read the lines so
Oh,
other
yeah.
people in his group can do their audition.
I lived in
And so after
Seattle for
Fred
a
stopped
while when I was
explaining the
young, but
situation, Harry was actually kind of annoyed. He was annoyed that Fred had basically already volunteered him, and so he couldn't really even say
yeah.
no without making Fred look bad. And he didn't like the idea.
Good
This
old
was
state
basically
of
a waste of his
Colorado.
time. He was
That's
being
where I was
asked to
born,
know
baby.
lines, but not even try out. So how was
But
this
I'm
even
in
an
Washington
opportunity?
now,
But
which
Fred
is
told
funny
him,
because
look, worst case scenario, you meet some very
their
talented
cannabis
people in
laws are kind of
Hollywood. This
similar.
director's a big
Like,
deal
I
with
think
people there.
Colorado was the
Big
first
deals in
one, and then
Hollywood. So you'll meet them, and maybe they will recognize your
Washington
talent,
followed them
or
after
maybe
that.
you get some new clients for your carpentry business. So no matter what, you get something out of it. And so finally, Harry says, okay, fine, I'll go do this thing. And so Harry goes to this audition, he's handed the script, and he's reminded repeatedly to not
But
attempt
Colorado,
to
I've
Don't
always
try
wanted to go
act,
back and
just
visit there.
read the lines. I don't care if you're monotone, you just read these lines because you're not auditioning. Everybody else is, you're not.
Yeah, it was the very first one, actually. Colorado was. Then it was Washington, and then California.
And he's trying to do what
And I just stopped counting from there.
But the way he was actually feeling and his actual personality began seeping through. He started coming off as this really grumpy and sarcastic guy that just didn't care about anybody there. He was just totally bitter that he was in the situation he was in. And apparently, this is
Squash.
exactly what the director was
Squashington.
looking for in one of the characters he was trying to cast. That kind of bravado,
We have lots of nicknames for the Sasquatch around here, or Sasquatches.
Not caring at all about how he's performing. He's just simply reading these lines and just being himself. He was actually doing this amazing job portraying.
Yeah, same here. I remember seeing a fox around here too. I mean, I haven't lately, but I don't hang out as much outside at nighttime. As a teen when I seen it.
Walks up to Harry, better known as Harrison Ford, and says,
yeah, same. Well, no, I think I've seen the foxes at the zoo, but because we have the point to find zoos right here by us. Well, I guess I just gave my location away, but yeah. But they come from the woods out that way, and the zoo there has more foxes over there as well.
He was at a Hollywood studio in one of their restaurants when one of the waiters walked over to him with a silver tray, and on this silver tray was a single business card. So Harrison reaches over, he grabs the business card, the waiter walks away, and he looks at the card.
Any of you guys ever hear of Mr. Ballin?
I missed my bet. He flipped the card over.
I'm not sure. He's pretty cool to listen to sometimes. I like foxes though. Foxes are really cute. You ever hear what a fox says? What does the fox say? Silly. That was definitely a song. Yeah, I think they're cool. There's all different colors and kinds of foxes too. You got the Arctic fox. Those are cute. I don't know how they live in those temperatures, but.
So that's you found the secret in today's episode. Let us know in the comment section what it is and where you found it. So give us the time. And if you're the first to do that, we'll pin you at the top of the comment section. If you got something out of today's episode and you haven't done this already,
so far I'm just painting it all, making sure I got a nice even coat of this undercoat here.
We are now selling merchandise like flannels, and hats, and mugs, and sweatshirts, and all sorts of stuff. If you're interested in buying official Mr. Ballin merch,
it's actually a thing for my laptop right here that I set my laptop on right here, this black thing. But it's perfect for an easel as well.
Message me on Instagram or on Twitter. The username for both platforms is the same. It's JohnBallin416.
Hopefully I don't get paint all over it, but I have a little faith in myself here.
We also have a second YouTube channel called Mr. Ballin Shorts, where we post random short videos and lost episodes. If you have a story suggestion, please submit it to our subreddit. It's called Mr. Ballin. It's linked in the description below.
Chicago. I visited once through, well, a couple of times, but it was while I was traveling, essentially just stopping there. It's an interesting, very interesting place. It's a big city, like, and we're from Seattle's big here, so Chicago is really like long and huge, and they had like one of the longest skylines I've seen, tall buildings for as long as you can see. I was like, wow. So I was thinking, let's see. Let me show you this up. I think I should do a horizontal or vertical. Goes like the long way. Turn it that way. There we go. Still kind of early here where I'm at. It's what time is it anyway? Well, 11:44. So yeah, it's a lot earlier than most places. Right. Yeah, almost 12. Starting to get there, huh? So I'm using this dark one up here. Just kind of bringing some blue into a picture for the sky, I think. Yeah, let's go. Sky. It does dry. These acrylics dry pretty fast. Seems anyway. Almost the same. Oh boy. Figure if you can't sleep, you should get up and paint or do something. I don't know. I watch a lot of YouTube, so it's like maybe I'll get on and do some painting and do something a little more creative. I usually do short videos, but it's not exactly working in my favor, I guess. But I love to paint. I mean, I have, I got this easel so I could set it up. Well, I just started painting. I mean, I paint, I'm not professional at all. I'm just like you. I just watched a couple YouTube videos now, and I've actually had my canvases and my paints for a long time, and like I was inspired to paint and then I lost it, and so I just recently have decided I wanted to paint again. So this is kind of like my first paint since I've been back. I used some paint pens for a little bit. That was kind of neat, but I haven't painted in a long time, so I don't really have. I'm hoping to develop skills here on YouTube, just painting and chatting with people, pretty much. Have you ever painted? Anybody else ever paint? Well, thank you. Yeah, I'd like to be creative. I've used to paint rocks with acrylic paint and sell them and take them to like parks, and on the back it would be, to post this on Facebook if you find the rock, or to hide it again. So it's kind of like a thing that a lot of kids were getting into doing, with painting rocks and hiding them in their parks and stuff. It's kind of cool, and they'd go on Facebook and post the picture of the rock they found. But that was kind of fun. Oh, really? That sounds like fun too. So you kind of like all share like the projects together? Just one person starts it and then you rotate around and uh, what's yeah. It would be a creative painting, like to get everybody's like own little perspective on the painting that's in front of them. See the ending masterpiece. I was starting to think about my mom. It's like I should try to get her to do that with me. Oh yeah, that's a neat way to keep it kind of like focused and to how long you're spending on each one, or the overall amount. It's purple. So have you guys painted? Have you painted for a while, or is this something you just do for fun? Or? Oh yeah, so fun. Yeah, yeah. Well, that's me. I'm trying to find like new interest in hobbies, and I guess this is like a good place to start. I do like to go and do lots of outdoor stuff, but when it's cold and nasty outside, it's better to find something a little drier because we get a lot of rain, lots of rain here. But I don't mind it so much, you know. But it just makes it hard to do things. Oh, yeah, yeah. My mom, she loves ceramics too. That's interesting. Her friend had a little ceramic shop with the kiln, and yeah, they used to really like that. And I'm sorry to hear that about your mom, but that's really neat that you got to keep some of those keepsakes. I've seen that. That's takes some skill, some foraging skill, right? Like foraging. Wow. I've been watching, hoping to catch the orcas that swim around here and get more video of them. See, yeah, I didn't even think of that. Sanders and stock removal. Yeah, yeah. I mean, that would make sense. That's how you usually sharpen that. Wow. Harbor Freight. Yeah, we have one right down the street from here, not too far. Oh, we used to. I think it's still there. Oh yeah, yeah, that's a good idea. And then you can practice on those to hone your skills in a little bit better. You have to spend a lot of money on knives. I still got a lot of colors to use. I think I might have put too much paint. I've got a lot of canvases, a lot of painting I can do. I think that would be neat to make knives. Oh, I need to do some more camping gear too. Outdoor survival stuff. I was really big into that when I was a kid. But the city life kind of gets you really busy. Blinking you're old. Oh yeah. Yeah, the rainforest. I'm fairly close to it, not too far. Like it's really pretty. It's at the corner, the northwest corner. But where you're at, you have some of the most beautiful trees in the country. So yeah, those redwoods, baby. Ooh-wee. Redwoods are very beautiful. I wanted to see more of it when I was there, but my trip was kind of very short. I was just a layover, so to Palm Springs when I was headed out that way. Huh. Oh, yeah. See, you get to see those pretty good views. Depending on where I am, I can see almost the Olympic Mountains from me, and then Mount Rainier. It was kind of neat. Yeah. Yeah, and that is, I went to Portland just recently and took I forgot what they call it, but it's a transportation or a little, like a ski lift, you take it up to the top up there, but it's not a ski lift. Anyway, you can see Mount Hood really, really good, and that was pretty. I was like, I could see why they call it Mount Hood, because it literally looked like it had a white hood on us. Like, oh, God. Oh, yeah, Longview. Uh, that's the world's longest beach? No, Long Beach. Long Beach, not Longview. Oh, yeah, when you pass through Portland. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's really pretty. Can't help but to see it. It's like, boom. Unless it's cloudy and, nasty out. That's always a real possibility, too. We share a lot of the same, I think, weather a little bit. Between Oregon and Washington and California, Northern California. Washington, we don't have it quite as bad. You guys usually get, well, probably, I don't know if you get snow. Like, we got snow once this year. So we don't get very much snow, but it's been cold lately, though. For today, it was really nice, though. Yeah, except for summers, but our summers are mild, too, like, considering the rest of the country's on fire. So, I stay pretty happy. The snow hits 30 minutes away. Oh yeah, that's the thing around here too. We just go up to, like toward the mountains to Mount St. I was gonna say Mount St. Helens, but Mount Rainier. That's you drive up there until you reach the snow. Oh no! Oh no! I haven't even followed up to see how people are doing now. I hope people are recovering okay. It's gonna take some time, I'm sure. Hmm. This is this color here. It's really pretty. Pearlized golden green. Oh, oh, that's good though. I mean, not good, but good that it's away from you. Yeah, that's right. It's mid California, right? That's suffered the most. Right in the middle. Oh yeah, I know, right? The fires have been everywhere. They're just not. It didn't seem like a lot of houses. A lot of the city part was being burnt. My painting is just about blending. I'm just blending. That's all. But no, I wanted to try and blend, like hopefully a sky and maybe water or something, and then some grass or whatever. So, yeah, that's unfortunate. Oh man, I know you guys had it really bad. The fires between California and Canada. We were smoky over here. We couldn't breathe. I was like, oh my gosh. We don't normally experience fires on Western Washington. Eastern Washington gets them, or up over the mountains because it's a lot drier. But yeah, we didn't have any, but we definitely felt everybody else's pain. Just the overall smoke. I think everybody was smoked out. That was like a year ago or 2 years ago, something like that. Man, everybody was doing TikToks talking about it's spicy out here. Spicy because it was, it was raining ash. We rain ash on the rest of the world, the whole world before. So I guess you guys are getting some payback. No, with Mount St. Helens. Hey, right, absolutely. I think bushcraft is good for everybody to know. Doing pretty good. When I'm skeet, I'm just painting a little bit. I don't, just chatting. Yeah, bushcraft. I watch a couple of bushcraft channels. One of my favorites channels is the bushcraft channel. Will survives. He's good. I like the way he inspires the younger generations. It's pretty cool. Yeah, it's hard to do sometimes. But he also inspired a lot of older people too, so it was really cool. With bushcraft, um, I grew up in bushcraft, doing bushcraft with my stepdad and my mom. So I'm kind of familiar. I mean, we learned a lot of bushcraft when I was young. Living in the mountains in Tenasket. I don't know if you're familiar with the mountains here, but so like that's how like I got interested in it again, just knowing. Um, yeah, knowing I know, and the way that the system is going right now, it's good for everybody to know how to do some bushcraft. You got to know how to light a fire and how to survive when you're out there, because it just might come. You got to teach your kids or teach your family members, whoever you got to teach to survive. But it feels like that anyway. That's what it feels like. It's just a painting me. Okay, okay, okay. Here it is. Ready? Ta-da! What do you think? It's got some green in there. I'm working the green in. I am. I don't know. Slowly, it's working. Maybe we went heavy on the blue, but I hear you can go like layer over layer. I don't know. Gives it kind of a look. As I just keep blending. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, yeah. Oh, it's a lot different. Arizona survival is a lot different than over here on the West Coast, that's for sure. Like, I don't know if I could survive in Arizona. I mean, it's the same basic principles, but it's different. You ever see that with Dave and Cody Lundeen or whatever? Like, the difference in survival, their opinions on how things go. That was always funny. One was like a hippie that didn't wear any shoes, and the other one was kind of militant. Uh, but the desert would be brutal. You'd have to know how to, first thing is find water, and get some shelter from the sun, I guess, right? Oh, you do? You still watch Dave? Ah, that's awesome. Water is life, for real. If you ain't got water, you just call it a wrap right there. Ooh, you can go a while without food, or hopefully you got time to find a shelter, but water, go so long. Especially if you're in Arizona, that would be horrible. Oh, he does? Oh, I'll have to see if I can find him. Check him out and see how he's been doing. She's probably got some pretty good YouTube content. Oh, yeah? A school, huh? Where is he? You know where what state he's in? Let's see. I think, yeah, depending on the land that you're on, there's different things to know about survival. Yeah, it's probably somewhere in the woods, though, huh? I would imagine. He seemed like he liked the woods over the desert. Yeah, and his gear and his methods. Well, I mean, you got to be organized. You got to pack it in. You need to be organized and prepared. That's just part of it. Uh, I'm really considering investing in land now. Maybe. I've never been to Oklahoma before. Maybe. But, yeah. No, I'm really thinking about it because now's the time. We're so close to the mountains, I should get some land in the mountains. Somewhere take me like about an hour to drive from here or something, maybe 2. You can go on the weekends and build it up. I don't know. I don't think so. Are they in Oklahoma or out of there? Oh, yeah. Oh, really? Okay. Yeah. Wait, online training is for survival? Yeah. Buying land is definitely a good idea right now. Just somewhere where you could go get away from the city, especially if you're from the city. Oh my goodness. Yeah. Oh yeah. Hmm. Yeah, that'd be good to have to practice in no matter what is your survival skills. Gun training, medical, all that's very important. Natural medicine, how to recognize the plants, what berries you can eat. And there's a lot of foraging. You gotta, all that all takes knowledge. So people just think they're gonna go out. It's not as easy as it, Yeah. But hopefully everybody gets the concepts and get it on the video games. You gotta go forage for this or that. Yeah. I mean, we've come a long way for comfort. Our forefathers worked hard for that, for us to enjoy the inventions that mankind has made. But I definitely want to just be prepared when it falls because, yeah, you nice to have a place that you have off grid. You could water, electricity of some sort, so you can have radio, a place to cook and shelter down, bunker down. Because goodness. This green I used is really a pearlized. It's pretty. I don't know if you can see it. It's gonna put a pearl hue over over the whole painting. Let my phone die. Okay. I should have some something better for background music or something. That's why I wanted to put a video on, and like true crime or something, or Mr. Ballin, strange, dark, and mysterious. It's kind of good. It's good stuff. I can't wait for
Today's story
spring,
is about a
summer
famous Hollywood actor who did
to
something
warm up,
truly horrific. And surprisingly, not that
get
many
back
people know about
outside.
it. But before we get into today's story, if you're a fan of the strange, dark, and mysterious
What
delivery story
different places I
format,
want to go.
you've
I
come
want
to
to
the right
visit all
channel
the
because
different
that's all we
waterfalls
do.
in our
We upload
area
2
this
or 3
summer.
times every week. So if that's of interest to
We
you,
have so
please
many
offer
of
to make
them
the like
that
button your
it's
favorite
just,
food, a
I need to
burrito,
get more
but
footage.
separate the meat, cheese, rice, and sour cream into
Just
4
take in the
distinct
beautiful
sections
scenes.
before rolling it up. Also, please subscribe to our channel and turn on all notifications so you don't
We
miss
have the
any of our
Suquamish
weekly
Falls.
uploads.
Those aren't
All
too
right, let's
far
get
from
into
here.
today's story.
Those are really pretty. But Oregon has a lot of nice waterfalls as well.
Before we get started, I want to give
Some
a
really
special
pretty
shout out
lakes
to
too.
Billy Jensen, who is a fantastic true crime investigative journalist who wrote the article for the LA Magazine called The Secret Life of Johnny Lewis. That article was used extensively in the making of today's video. So thank you, Billy. Johnny Lewis was only 7 years old when he landed his first acting role. Granted, it was only a bit part in an obscure escalator safety video, but it was a start. From there, Johnny appeared in dozens of commercials, including with Pizza Hut, before someone recognized this kid has real talent, and he earned appearances on the hit TV shows Seventh Heaven, Malcolm in the Middle, and Drake and Josh, which were really big.
These are
in the
those
late
paint
90s and
pens I
early
have.
2000s.
Can you
In
use
2001,
these? I play
Johnny
with
was
those a
18
lot.
years old. He had made enough money from
Put them
acting
together.
that he was able to leave his parents' home in North Los Angeles and move into a new home right in Hollywood with a bunch of other up-and-coming actors and actresses. By 2006, when Johnny was 23 years old, he was riding high. He had landed several more big TV roles, like a recurring role in the show The O.C., which was very popular in the 2000s. And in 2006, he was dating the mega pop star Katy Perry.
Trying to get some
And
of that
although
blue
their
out.
romance was relatively short, apparently it was very intense because Katy would go on to write 2 songs that were apparently about Johnny. But Johnny's real rise to stardom occurred 2 years later in 2008 when he was cast as the character Half Sack on the critically acclaimed motorcycle drama Sons of Anarchy. While the show made him famous
Sons
and
of
fabulously
Anarchy.
wealthy, Johnny was growing concerned with the direction the show was taking. He felt like it was becoming too violent. Johnny liked reading poetry and studying philosophy,
Gotta add some more
staying up late
purple.
drinking tea and playing chess. He did not like acting out
What
scenes
do you
of
think?
gratuitous violence. It just wasn't who he was. So after being on
It's
the
just
show
kind
for
of
2 seasons
coming
very
together a
successfully,
little
he
bit.
was a very popular character. He went to the writers
The
and said, "You gotta
blending.
write me out of the script. You can't do this anymore." The writers were totally caught off guard and begged him to stay, but he had made up his mind, and so in 2009, his character was killed off. After leaving Sons of Anarchy,
Almost looks like
Johnny
the same
decided that
color,
he wasn't going to pursue any
but
serious acting roles for the time being.
it's not.
Instead, he wanted to focus his time on writing his first novel, which was about this
Yay.
musical genius trying to make his way in the world. And so he started asking around to see if anybody he knew of a quiet place he could live and write out of. And his photographer said, "I think I know this place." It was
How's
called
everybody
the Mayor's
doing?
Villa, and it was this beautiful house with 6 bedrooms
Just
to
kind of
rent right outside of
hanging
Hollywood.
out.
Over the years, it had become a sort of safe haven for up-and-coming actors and actresses still looking to land their big break. The
Coffee.
reason it developed this reputation was because of the owner, Kathy Davis.
It's actually really
She
good.
was
It's
this wonderful
Vietnamese
woman
coffee.
who really
It's like
understood
this
how
3-in-1 pack I
difficult
got at
trying to
Costco.
break into Hollywood
It's pretty good
was for all the
stuff.
people that stayed at her house. And so she would look after them and make them
And
food
most
and
people will
offer
tell
them
you it's pretty
rides.
good
And
anyway.
she would stay up late and listen to their frustrations and be a shoulder to cry on if they didn't get the part they wanted. Many of her tenants, who went on to be big Hollywood stars, would later attribute their success, at least in part, to the
No,
time they
I
spent
do.
with Kathy
It's really
at the
weird.
villa, which they remembered as being therapeutic and soothing.
Coffee
Even though
doesn't
Johnny had
affect
already
whether I
had his
sleep
big
or not.
break in the Sons of Anarchy, he
Actually,
loved the
sometimes
idea of living in
drinking
such
the
a
warm
peaceful
beverage
place
can help you
that
sleep.
seemed to cater to eccentric artists like himself. So in
Now,
April of 2009,
you
Johnny
should do
called
coffee
Kathy
just
and
because
requested
it's
a
better
room,
for
and she said
you.
absolutely.
Energy
Stay on
drinks
the
are so
second floor in the
bad.
red suite. After moving in, Johnny would tell his
I'm not
friends
one
that
to.
the writer's villa was just as
Sure, you
amazing
already
as he
hear
thought it was
that
going to be.
anyway, huh?
And Kathy
You're
specifically
so
was just as
bad.
wonderful as everyone said she was. He actually struck up a friendship with her almost immediately. Everything seemed to be going really well for Johnny in his
Well,
life
that's good.
until a few months
Have you
later he
tried the
found out
V8
his
energy
girlfriend
drinks?
Diane was pregnant. Although this totally screwed up his plans for his novel, Johnny was really excited about being a father, and so he decided to move out of the villa and in with Diane, who lived nearby, to help take care of their child. 9 months later, on April 6th, 2010, Diane gave birth to a healthy little girl named Culla May, and Johnny and
Occasionally,
Diane
I'll
fell
have some of
madly in love with her.
the
But
V8
unfortunately,
energy.
Johnny and Diane's love for each other faded quickly after becoming
Yeah,
parents,
V8
and
energy.
before long,
It's like
Johnny had moved out and back in
fruits
with
and
his parents.
vegetables, so it's
Not long
sweet
after that,
and
Johnny and Diane became embroiled in
so
a
it's not
pretty
tomato,
vicious,
and then
long
it's
custody
energy,
battle over
and it
Culla
works really
May,
well. I
which
was like, wow,
ultimately Johnny lost, which was devastating for him. A few months later, in October of
it's not near
2011,
as much
when Johnny was
sodium or
still living with
whatever.
his parents, he decided to take his
People think it
motorcycle out and just
when
go
they think
ride
of
around
V8 like
Nature's
that
Edge.
tomato.
And so he drove for about two
It's not
hours to
that.
the west of LA out into the desert, where he lost control of his bike and crashed. After getting to the hospital, his injuries were determined to be relatively minor,
Oh,
except
you
they
have?
were
Did you
concerned
like
he
them?
might have a head injury. However, after testing negative for a concussion, he was said to be okay by doctors and he was sent home. But when he got home from the hospital, he was not okay. He was a totally different person. Johnny's father, Michael, immediately noticed the change in his son's behavior. He just started acting really weird and erratic, and his thoughts weren't always
I have
coherent.
somebody that
He was
does
agitated all the time. It was just very
C4.
obvious that
C4.
something was off.
Sounds like
And it made
dynamite.
Michael wonder, perhaps my son did get a head injury from
It's
that
horrible.
motorcycle accident, and the doctors just missed it. And so Michael scheduled two separate MRIs for Johnny to go to, but for whatever reason, Johnny refused to go. Around this time, Johnny's friends began to notice his strange behavior when, in December of that year, he was at an acting class and he began speaking in a vaguely British accent. And everybody in the
Oh
class
yeah,
noticed
I
it,
didn't know
and
that.
eventually someone
Grocery
said, hey,
outlet, huh?
why are you doing that? And Johnny was like, what? And just kind of shrugged it off and acted like he
No,
wasn't
I'm
doing it.
pretty.
A few weeks later, on the morning of
I go to the
January
same
3rd,
stores over and over,
2012, Johnny was
so
at
I
his
know where
parents'
everything
house. He was
is.
sitting in the kitchen
They're
while
good
his mom was
stores though.
making omelets. And Johnny just kind of
Like going
abruptly
to
says, time to go out
Costco
for a
for
walk.
some of my
So he
stuff, and
gets
then
up,
I like
pulls out his pajamas on, no shoes on, and walks out the
Safeway.
door. And as he's walking down the road, he gets maybe 10 or 15 feet away from his parents' house when he hears someone screaming, like they're screaming in distress.
C4s.
He
I
thinks
know
it's
they
coming
seem to
from
be
the
really
apartment
strong
that
and
was right
addictive
next to his
because
parents' house. And so he breaks into the apartment, but there's no one in the
the
apartment.
people I know
It's
that
totally
drink them
vacant.
don't want to
And so
stop
as he's
drinking
in
them.
this apartment, wondering what's going on, the two men that owned the apartment, they came home and they see Johnny standing there. And they
But I
told
should
him
try
he had
one
to leave
just
immediately.
because.
And instead of leaving immediately, Johnny grabbed a nearby glass bottle and he charged at them.
Too
And he
rich
hit
for
them
your
both in the head
blood.
with the bottle
Really?
before they managed to
I guess
restrain him and hold
because
him
like I
down
do the
until the police showed up. Johnny claimed he was acting in self-defense, but the police didn't
for
believe him.
you,
And so they
like I
charged
go on
him
and
with
I clip their
trespassing,
coupons and
burglary,
stuff.
and
So
assault with a deadly weapon, and they sent him to jail.
and then
When
I
Johnny's
also
father
like
was finally able to come to the jail and
follow
bail his
their
son out,
sales
it had been 8
on
days, and
Fridays.
in
So
those
like
8 days,
today
Johnny had been moved from
I got
general
like
population to a
the
psych ward
70
because he was banging his
some
head
dollars
against
worth
the
of
inside
meat
of his
for
cell, and at one point he tried
$27.
to jump off of a
So it was a
balcony,
lot
and he was
cheaper
just
than
generally acting unhinged. And so
some
when he
nice
was
steaks too.
discharged,
I was
on
like,
his
sweet.
paperwork, a doctor
Just
at
gotta
the
look for the
jail
Friday
had
sales. I'm always
commented
looking
that
for
he
sales,
thought
you know.
Johnny at one point must have had some sort of head injury that had made him
How I
act this
always
way,
would be.
and he was definitely suicidal. When Johnny got back to his parents' house, he was an absolute wreck. Physically, I mean, he had
Yes,
two
I
black
like
eyes and his face was all
steak
puffed up from the confrontation he
on my
had with those two men
salads.
in the
That's my
apartment,
favorite.
and emotionally, he was so distraught that he
It's
wouldn't
having
let
a
anyone in his
steak and
family come
salad.
near him. He just holed up in his room and just told everyone to
Most
stay away.
definitely.
He also became extremely sensitive to light, to the point where he was turning off all the lights in his parents' home, and then when they would eventually
I
just
also
turn them
like
back on again,
Mongolian
he would get
grill, and
agitated and
that's
turn them all off, and then
beef.
finally he just
Seems like
disabled
all
his
my
parents'
favorite
fuse
dishes are
box.
around beef.
But despite Johnny's obvious issues after coming home from jail, over the next few weeks he did actually seem to be improving, to the point where at the end of January, so about a month after he came home from jail,
Well,
his
my
parents
temperature's well
allowed him
done.
to
I don't
move
know
out and go live
what
on
the
his own in
minimum
Santa Monica,
is, but I just know
California,
I go
about
like
30 minutes
all.
away. But as soon as he was
I
living
cook
on his own,
mine
his
all
trouble started again.
all
On
the way
February 10th, so
through.
about a
Well
week after
done.
moving into his
Well,
place
what
in
is
Santa
the
Monica,
minimum?
he was arrested for punching some random stranger
Mine
in the
is.
head
I don't know
outside
what
of
the
a yogurt
temperature
shop,
should
but
be. I
he was
don't even
ultimately
have a
released on
temperature gauge. I
$20,000
just
bail. A couple
know
of
what
days
to cook it
later,
to.
Johnny, fully
I mean, I don't
clothed, just
overcook it. I
walked
don't want
into
to
the
like
ocean,
overcook it,
and when
but
he was pulled out, he had to be brought to the hospital to be treated for hypothermia. A couple of days after getting out of the hospital, he was
Sweet,
arrested
thank
again,
you.
this time for trying to break into a woman's apartment in Santa
Oh,
Monica.
you said you
He claimed
was.
he robbed his friend's apartment, but nobody
That's
believed him,
messed
so he
up.
was thrown in jail, and then released on
Well,
bail.
see, now you
After
can
this
teach me
second arrest in
something.
Santa
You know,
Monica,
just
Johnny's parents
can't know
finally
everything,
convinced him to
right? You
go
can't
see
know
a
everything all
doctor
the
about
time.
this potential head injury they thought he got from that 2011 motorcycle crash. Even though that jailhouse doc had suggested Johnny had a head injury, he had not officially
Oh, you
diagnosed it.
said
So
nothing
Johnny needed
past
another
medium.
doctor to officially
I thought you
diagnose
were
his
worried
head
about like
injury
raw
so that
meat
he
or
could
something.
treat it.
I'm
But
like,
the
oh my
doctor Johnny
gosh.
wound up seeing did
No,
not
yeah,
suspect
I
a head injury.
do it well done.
Instead, he suspected schizophrenia or bipolar, which are two
Or
very serious
medium
mental
well.
disorders. And so he prescribed some medication to Johnny
Medium
to
well,
treat
at
both of those
least. But
disorders,
yeah.
and Johnny was on his way. Johnny refused to take the medication and refused to go see another doctor, and so his condition just continued to get worse.
I don't like it
Johnny
too
was still
chewy.
facing
Like,
serious jail time for the break-in
I don't
and
know.
assault
It's hard to
against those two men
describe, but
in the apartment next to his parents'
you'll
home.
pray
And so
for me.
Johnny's lawyer was trying to get a deal done where Johnny would go to a mental health treatment facility for a year
Oh,
instead
come
of going to
on.
jail
It's
for a
not
year.
that
But Johnny
bad.
was
Are
so
you a
confident
butcher?
these charges would just get dropped and that he'd get
What's
out and
up?
go
Why,
back to his life
why
the
the
way
hate
he
on the
wanted
meat?
to, that he fired his lawyer and he represented
My
himself in
grandfather
court.
was like
But
that.
the
His dad was a
charges were
butcher,
not
though.
dropped and he was sentenced to 1 year in prison. However, the jail he was sent to was so overcrowded, they reduced his sentence all the way down to only 6 weeks. When Johnny's father finally came to pick him up from prison on
This is
Friday,
serious beef
September
lover.
21st, 2012,
Yeah.
Johnny was at an all-time low. Even though he'd only been in jail for
Geez,
6 weeks instead of the year he was supposed to be there, it was clear
Japanese
that amount of
steakhouses are
time
really
had
good
done
too.
an
I
enormous
don't know
amount
what
of
they do
damage
with
to
their
him. And
steaks,
so
but
on the
they're
car
really
ride home
good.
from prison, Johnny just kind of sheepishly asked his father, hey Dad, would it be possible if you called Kathy Davis at the Writers Villa and just see if there's any way I can move back in? And Michael's
Yeah,
thinking to
beef
himself,
is
I
definitely
hadn't
my
thought of
favorite
that, but
meat.
the Writers Villa was the last place Johnny was when his life was still in order. It was probably the last place he was happy, and so he probably has attached a lot of fond memories to that place, and so that's a great place for him
Kobe
to go.
beef?
And so as soon as they got home, Michael called Kathy Davis
Yeah.
and explained the situation and said, is there any way he can stay there? And she said, absolutely, the red suite is still available. I'll go up and make the bed right now. I can't wait to see it. Johnny stayed with his parents that weekend, and then on Monday, September 24th, he packed up his stuff and moved back into the villa. 2 days later, a 70-year-old man
This
named
painting
Dan
is coming
Blackburn,
right
who was actually
along.
neighbors
It's like
to
I
the
wanted it
Writers Villa
to.
property, he was looking out his front window at this man who was standing out in the road. He only had on jeans and red shoes. He had no shirt on, and he was very
It's okay.
sweaty. And he was just kind of frantically pacing around the road. And he had never seen this guy before, and so he just
Just
kind
keep
of looking up
blending.
behind
It'll
his
work.
curtain,
Just
watching
keep
him to see
blending.
what he would do next. And after about 15 minutes of this kind of strange pacing in the road, this guy turns and walks directly towards Dan's property, goes right up to the front step and starts knocking on the door. Dan was definitely a little bit concerned, but he shut the curtain, he walked over to the door, he looks
Yeah, my
out the
favorite
peephole, and
is
there's this guy
Mongolian
standing there
grill.
with bright blue eyes that are all wide.
I
He's
really
looking
like
at the
that.
peephole
Where you
as
go
if
up,
he can see
you know what
clearly
that
to
is.
see Dan,
Where you
but
go.
he can't. And so Dan reaches down and he opens the door
I don't
just a little
know.
bit.
I
He
mean,
looks
maybe.
out, and the guy outside looks at him and goes, "Hi, I'm John. I'm your new neighbor." It would
Might
turn
be
out John
finished.
was Johnny Lewis. And so Dan opened the door a little bit farther and he looks at him and he goes, "Hi, John. Nice to meet you."
Yeah,
And before the
I
two
think
men
so.
had
It will
any sort
be.
of
I need to
conversation, Johnny just abruptly turned around and walked away. And so Dan is totally
just think
puzzled
of a
by this
couple
strange
things I need to
interaction
do.
he's
I want to
had
make
with
a
Johnny
moon.
Lewis.
My
And
moon.
he's watching him as
I
he
don't
just
have my
walks back to the road,
sponge
he
that I
walks
was
back
going to
over and
use,
goes
so
inside the
I'll have to
villa and
improvise
disappears.
somehow. But
And so Dan kind of shrugs it off, he shuts his door, locks it, and goes back to his morning routine. About 30 minutes later, Dan is doing his own thing at his house when he hears his wife outside screaming for him to come outside.
oh,
So Dan runs out the front door, he goes
Mongolian
into his
grill.
driveway, which is between his
That's where
property
you get the
and the writer's villa, and he sees
raw
his wife is
vegetables,
standing in
and
the driveway,
then
horrified, pointing up towards the back of their house. He looks down, and back near their back
noodles,
deck, Johnny,
and then at the
John
end you
Lewis,
pick your
is
meat
standing
and
on
your
top
different
of the guy
sauces that you
that
want
Dan
on
and
it,
his wife had hired that day
and
to
then you take
paint
it up
their
to the
back
grill
deck.
and they cook it
Johnny
for
is
you.
just raining blows down on this guy. He's got a piece of wood too that he's hitting him with, and the worker is sitting there trying to shield
That's
himself
pretty
with
good.
blood all over him. And Dan instinctively just runs over to Johnny. Johnny's not seen Dan at this point. Dan gets right up to him, he grabs him by the shoulder, and he tries pulling Johnny off. He's screaming at Johnny to stop, but Johnny just seems totally unfazed. He's just destroying this worker. And so finally, after Dan
Yeah,
yanks on Johnny
I
hard enough, Johnny jumps up, turns
Took a
around,
while,
and
a few
levels
times
Dan
going there
square in the
before I
face.
became
Dan falls
like
to the
a real big
ground, and he
fan,
looks
but
up.
now I
Johnny
like
is
really
just
like it.
standing
I can
over him,
make it at
looking at
home
him
actually.
with no expression on his face. It's like he didn't know what he was going to do
Most of my
again next. So he
best
just stood there and
dishes.
stared at him. But Dan wasn't going to waste any time. He jumped up and he clocked
Okay.
Johnny square in the side of the head, but it had no effect on Johnny. He still just stared at Dan, completely expressionless. And so Dan grabbed a nearby lawn chair and practically broke it over the head of Johnny, but again, it had no effect on Johnny. He just stood there completely expressionless, staring at Dan. And so at this point, Dan just grabs the worker who can barely stand, and he runs back down the driveway. He grabs his wife, and they run towards the house to go inside. And the three of them manage to get inside the house,
Hey,
and as they're shutting the big, heavy door, Johnny comes bounding up, and he gets
how's
right
it
in front,
going?
and he jams his arm in the space between the door and the wall. So they can't close the door because it's getting stuck on his arm. And so all three of the adults inside, Dan, his wife, and the painter, are putting all of their weight on this huge wooden door onto Johnny's arm, and Johnny is just trying to grab them the whole
Let's
time.
see.
And so finally, the three of them start raising the door and slamming it as hard as they can on Johnny's arm. And finally, after several hard blows to his arm, Johnny retracted his arm, and they were able to shut the door and lock it. And so at this point, Dan's wife and the painter ran around the house, closing every window, locking every door. Meanwhile, Dan went to the side window that looked out towards the Writers Villa property, and he got his phone out and he called 911 as he's looking out the door looking for
I
Johnny.
think I
And
mixed
so
the
after he
colors too
tells
much.
911 what's going on and he hangs up, Johnny suddenly
Probably.
just appears running down his driveway as if he's running back towards the back deck. But he stops almost right in front of Dan's window. He turns and he starts running towards the villa property. He jumps over a fence that's at least waist height, just jumps clear over it.
Oh,
And he gets
really?
to this huge wooden fence that surrounded the
I
entire villa
didn't know that.
property.
You know, I
That's
should
at
have
least
looked
8,
that
9,
up
10 feet.
because
And he very easily just
not even
jumps, grabs the
sure
top, and
how that.
catapults
Yeah, that
himself
makes
right
sense
over the
though.
top and then disappeared inside of
A
the
lot of
villa.
sense.
Within
They
minutes,
fried
the
on the
police showed
shelf.
up and they went inside the villa and they could not believe what they found. Based on the evidence, this is what
It sounds
investigators
it
believe
sounds
happened. After Johnny, for the
plausible.
first time, walked up to Dan's property and awkwardly knocked on the door and said, "Hi, I'm John. I'm your new neighbor." After that, he turned around and Dan watched him as he left his property and made his way back and went inside the villa. Once Johnny got
Okay.
inside the villa, he made his way up to the second floor and he went into Kathy Davis's room where she was sitting. Now, Kathy most likely turned and saw Johnny standing in the doorway. He's
Yeah.
got no shirt on, he's sweating, he looks totally crazed. She probably was not scared. Instead, her motherly instincts
I don't know if I
kicked in,
can draw
and she
a
probably said,
circle
"Hey, are
good
you
enough
okay?
to do
Can
a
I help you?
moon.
What's going
I should
on?" And as
try.
she probably stood up and made her way over
Maybe
to
with a
make sure
smaller
he was
brush or
okay,
something.
Johnny, for reasons no one understands, proceeded to beat and kick and strangle her. And then when she fell to the ground and was totally helpless, Johnny proceeded to either stomp on her skull repeatedly, or he hit her over the head repeatedly with a rusty hammer that was later found in his bedroom. But no matter how Johnny did it, he managed to severely fracture her skull, and that's what ultimately killed her. After killing Kathy, Johnny tracked down her beloved cat and killed the cat the same way. Afterwards, Johnny ran out of the
I
villa,
do,
and that's when he
but
spotted Dan's
honestly,
housekeeper was sitting
I mean, I'm
outside, and
Christian.
he walked
That's what
over
I'm
to
gonna
him and
say.
just began
I'm
beating
proud
him.
of that,
And
but
just like the attack on
yeah,
Kathy and her cat,
Christian.
this attack on this house painter appeared to have no motive as well. After Dan came outside and managed to fight Johnny off, and then when Dan went
Yeah,
back inside the
100%.
house with his wife and with the painter, Johnny stood
I
outside
like to
for a
study
few
the
minutes
Bible
before running down Dan's
and
driveway
go over
and then hopping over
scriptures.
those two fences,
So, I mean, I
right
am
to Dan,
fluent,
and then
you
Johnny
know,
disappeared inside
in the
the villa.
Christian belief,
Once
but
Johnny was in the villa, it's believed he climbed up to the upper patio or onto the roof of the villa itself, and from
people
there
are just
he either
not ready to
jumped
hear
or
it.
fell to his death
Well,
on the
they need to
driveway
be,
below.
but
His
you know.
death was officially ruled an accident, not a suicide. After the news broke about what had happened at the writer's villa, everybody assumed Johnny must have been on some really
I like to
hardcore
talk about it
drugs.
though,
That's the
especially
only
when it makes
explanation for why
sense
someone would
because I apply it
accidentally
like
be
in our
active.
day to
But when
day
his
life.
toxicology report came back, it showed
There's
he
always
had
somewhere,
absolutely no
you
drugs
know,
of any kind,
every
legal or illegal, in his
reaction
system.
or
He was
action
completely sober at the
you
time he
take or
committed this horrible crime.
whatever,
Some
you should
believe Johnny really
contemplate
did have some undiagnosed head injury from that
what the
motorcycle
counsel of the
accident,
Bible
and this
says,
head
you know.
injury is
But
responsible for his violent outbursts. Others disagree and say the head injury had nothing to do with it. Johnny clearly had some undiagnosed mental disorder. Maybe it was schizophrenia, maybe he was
yeah,
bipolar, maybe it was something else, but it was this mental disorder that led to these violent outbursts. But to this day, no one knows for sure why Johnny did what he did. All we
hey,
know
that's
is that this
good.
woman and her cat
Really,
were needlessly killed. So that's
Yeah.
going to do it, guys. If you found the secret in today's episode,
I
let us
was
know in the comment
probably around
section
the
what it
same
is and
age
where
when
you
I
found
started
it, and use the
studying
timestamp.
seriously,
And for
too.
the first to do that, we'll pin you at the
Around
top
that.
of the comment section. If you got something out of today's episode and you haven't done this already, please offer to make
Most
the light bug
definitely.
their favorite food, a burrito, but separate the meat, cheese, rice, and sour cream into 4
So I'm not
distinct
too.
sections before rolling it
We're
out.
really
Also,
lucky
please
that we don't
subscribe
have
to
to
our
be
channel and turn on all
overly
notifications
worried
so you
about
don't
things
miss any of
going
our
on,
weekly 2 or 3 video uploads.
because
We are
we
now
know
selling merchandise like this flannel, like this hat,
that
there's a whole
everything's going
bunch
to
of
be
stuff.
okay.
If you're interested in Mr. Ballin merch, go to shopmrballin.com. Also, follow our shop's Instagram page. The username is shopmrballin for upcoming deals and promotions. If you want to get in touch with me, you can direct message me on Instagram or on Twitter. My username for both platforms is the same. It's johnballin416. I also have a ton of content over on TikTok, where my username is Mr. Ballin. We also have a second YouTube channel called Mr.
Yeah,
Ballin
the end of
Shorts,
the
where
book.
we post random short videos and lost
Yeah,
episodes. If you have a story suggestion, please submit it to our subreddit, just called Mr. Ballin. It's linked in the description below.
fabulous.
So whether I see you on Instagram, Twitter,
That's what it's
TikTok,
about,
Reddit,
you know?
YouTube, or some combination, just know that I really appreciate your support. And until next time, that's going to do it. See you.
Keep teaching our children's children. Tell them to teach their children, you know. You know, I'm not, I'm pretty sure we do. I'm not sure. I know, like, the ones I go to, I say are good. But I don't think all of them are good. I think some of them are misleading. And if you don't know, you don't know. I mean, if you don't go there, you don't know. And just based on, like, teachings, you can kind of judge. But absolutely. Absolutely. That is why, above all, you can tell it's the right religion, because it's all about love. How can you find fault in love? Like, mm-hmm. Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, absolutely. God is love. God is just. Yes, believe that 100%. And that is why nothing is going to be resolved here, in my opinion. So, um, until it's time. My favorite verse is probably Matthew 19, 19 and 20. I have a few. I can't say that. I like 2 Timothy 3:16. All scriptures inspired, beneficial for teaching, reproving, and setting matters straight. I like that because it kind of shows, like, the structure of. This is really deep. But yeah, the structure that these things are beneficial, whether or not you see them. You know. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Yes. It has to be. Yeah, I do. It's a story more than a meaning, but You want story time? Story time. So, when I was younger, like 17, 16, 17, I was dating this boy. And he was like 7 days older than me. And so our birthdays are around the same time. And he had just turned 18, and it was my birthday. And he wanted to take me out. And so we went out, and we ended up pulling into this tattoo shop. And I was like, oh, why are we here? And he was like, oh, we're going to go inside and just look at tattoos, you know? But he ended up getting my name tattooed on him right here. And so, right at 18, I got his name tattooed right here. So, um, yeah, that was in a good mood. But, I was young or whatever. And so, after over time, like, I went back and seen my dad in Pennsylvania, and he was just like, what? No. he, interesting, they ride a lot of Harleys back there, or whatever, bikers. And he was like, "No, kid, come on." And he put me on the back of the bike, and they took me down to a biker tattoo shop where uh, they had it covered. And so the meaning behind it is just, it's just a cover up. But you can see there's like the skull kind of in the rose, which is kind of interesting. So like I buried my ex there. And just playing though. He's still alive. Yeah. But that's the only one I got. I haven't never went and got another one or anything like that. But kind of learned my lesson. Ah, I was young, naive. Some people really like them. I don't personally want any more on me, but yeah, it was kind of funny. It's a funny story. Gotta learn. Yeah, we had a. You know, I think so. Like, I didn't. My brother stayed with my dad, and the girls went with my mom. So we were in Washington, and they're in Pennsylvania. So I didn't actually go to see them until I was an adult. And at that time, it was very interesting because, Washington, being from the West Coast, it's a lot different. And I can't say that I know any bikers from the West Coast. I know there are bikers around here, but um, yeah, it was a completely different environment I wasn't used to at all. It was fun. It was just different. Yeah. But they were the ones that had to kind of accept us. We didn't have to accept them, which was really nice because they were actually turned out to be really nice. So, what kind of things do you like to do? I really like I'm really into wildlife too. Wildlife, bushcraft. How much time do I got? Well, just something. Maybe not everything, but we're kind of. mm, You got something favorite? A favorite thing? Yeah, it's good. It's really good. I have lots of things I want to learn, that's for sure. Just time. It's all a matter of time. Yeah, absolutely. It's having a balance. That's key. That is so key in life. Hmm. Cars? Oh, yeah. Do you like collecting them or working on them? What do you like about cars? I know a little something. Mine is more, uh, like I've worked on cars growing up, and things, whatever. And then, but mine is towing. I can do towing packs, transmission coolers, hitches, brake controllers, that kind of thing. I specialized in that at one point. That was fun. And I'm pretty good, like, usually at listening and diagnosing a car by listening to it. A driving job. Oh, that sounds fun. Yeah, I know, right? This is some specific set of skills. Like, oh, if you need a hitch, let me know. No. Yeah, but I guess you gotta have something. I liked wiring stuff, and so I went more into the wiring of the hitches and stuff, the tow packages and things, as opposed to putting the hitches on because that's like the knuckle breaking. But I do hitches too. I just my hands hurt a lot, and that's one thing about mechanics that I admire is they got strong hands, strong knuckles, because you get to bust them up a little bit here and there. I did anyway. You're right. Oh boy. What'd she think about that? She's like, oh my gosh. Yeah, arm wrestling with him. Wow, really? Chrysler 300 with a Hemi. Wow. Car. I bet. I bet it did. I'd be like, oh my gosh. Yeah, I know. Don't our kids keep us that way, huh? Yep. I bet. She's like, no. My mom was like that too. She hated it when my stepdad would like drive a radical. Stop it. I'm going to jump out the car. So you had to be careful when mom's in the car. Oh, wow. Wow. That's quite a few kids. That's really good stuff there. You still got a baby. You still got a baby. 14 years old. Okay, maybe not a baby. I'm sorry. A teenager. It's even more difficult. But they can be a joy. Yeah, my last one's still at home too. I have my youngest, she'll be 21 this year. Yes, I'm married. Um, well, we just had our 20-year anniversary, wedding anniversary. So I've been a while, been happily married. Life is good. It's what you make it, but you gotta make it good. It's gonna be hard times. Why? Because it rains on the righteous and the unrighteous, right? Thank you. Thank you. I have a grandchild now, a grandson. I'm a grandma. Yeah. Really? Times four? Oh. I do have a stepdaughter too, a step grandchild too. So that's two. I actually got two. But she's a sweetheart. And then a grandson. I love it. Because everything that, you just don't go do without kids. Like, there's so much stuff you just don't do when you don't have kids. Like, do you just go to the zoo or do you just go to the fair? Or do you just, like, just don't do those things, like, necessarily without the kids. They keep you, like, going. Constantly the asking will keep you going, if anything. um, am I going to buy her a bottle of whiskey? I don't know. I wasn't. No, probably not. Like, I might, I would like to take a trip and go and that's what Vegas is the best for, is to be able to go around and be able to go bar hopping in a group that, that's safe, walking around or whatever. I thought that would be fun, but she probably won't want to hang out with her mom anyway. So maybe it'll end up just being a bottle of whiskey, but, yeah. Yeah. But oldest daughter, she lives in Seattle. It's a beautiful view from her apartment, and a beautiful little lovely cat that she has. But yeah, she likes living in the city. I'm not a big fan of being in the city. I really want to get out. Even though I like the city I'm in, it's just, Oh, well, that's good. I'm glad you were able to, experience love once again. That's got to be a hard thing to go through and then a blessing at the same time. Yeah, 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 yeah. They are nice to visit and not live in, that's for sure. I mean, I don't, yeah. I feel like lived a lot, most of my life in the city, but oh, probably, yeah, probably most of my life. It's been a long time since I've been out of the city. I did move to, I took my older kids when they got into middle school, and I moved to a better area so they got to go to better schools. Like, was the idea behind it. Oh, interesting. That's cool. They had I've heard of a few people meeting that way. Yeah, I think my sister met her husband that way too. It's interesting. Yeah, and they've been together for a long time too. CDFF. CDFF. What is that? Oh, really? Hmm. Couldn't like. Oh, okay. I see how it is. CDFF. I'm just not familiar with it. And I know. Wow. Especially if you got to remarry. Definitely a blessing. I don't even know. Hmm. Well, um, so you can tell I was a towing and hitch expert for a while, and got into management for them for a long time, and then I went into flooring and decor, which is like window treatments, and specialized in that for a while. And then I moved over to learn the trade of kitchen design. That was a lot better, a lot, you know, a lot more education. So, it was kind of neat. But, so, home repair, like Home Depot. Yeah, I was pretty good at working there because I kind of went to like uh, a school for that trade as well, like into a trade school. I just never used the trade myself, and then until I don't know, finally I just said, well, what do I want to do? Like when I reassessed my life, and I was like, well, what do I know? And that's kind of how I got into it. So, but by the time I went there, I knew like how to run all the saws and the machinery and all that. It was like things I already knew. Like, so it's kind of cool. Had my flagger's certificate, but I never did flag. But could have. Now I'm like, I'm not working now really, but it's kind of depressing, honestly. I would if I could, though. Visas. Man. Yes. I sure did. I would love to have my own business. That would be awesome. But yeah, I don't know if I could now, but I'd still like to have a business. There's not like I would say no. What would I do? If I could do anything, like, I don't know, like, I don't, without considering, like, financial and all that other, you know, I would like maybe run my own coffee shop or something. I'd love to have my own coffee stand. There's a lot of coffee we sell here. So I think it would be neat to have, like, yeah, have my own little coffee shop. It'd be cool. Fibromyalgia mainly, When I got older, I couldn't handle it anymore. It just got really bad, especially standing on concrete. And so, yeah, just eventually it just couldn't. Yeah, it just stopped me from doing a lot of things. Really? Oh, on the ferries, or like before they get on the ferries, or at the on the ferries? We have a couple ferries from here around here. Oh yeah, no, it could be worse. It could always be worse, and I know that's just part of life right now. It's just part of life. Oh, the fair. That's nice. You like doing that? I know a few people that like to do that. in different places to go out and be involved and see the crowds when they're out. And that would be neat to have your own restaurant or your own like um, truck or setup. There's a couple of different things you could do.
Hey, Boo.
Hello. That's really good. Yeah. Right. See, that's good. That's good. I would like something kind of like that. I mean, I guess the coffee place would be stationary, but it could be, I don't know, like I've even thought of like doing plants in coffee or, oh, I would like to do cats in coffee. I love cats. Cats in coffee. That would be nice. But I don't know. Thank you. Oh, no. We got lots to do. Do you like dogs? Are you more of a dog person? Hmm. Hmm. Oh, gosh, I really want to look at that. I don't have a way to look that up right at the moment. It's on my phone, but I think if I move, if I do something, like it might shut my live off, but I can try. Maybe not. Oh, yeah. Well, that's good. You feed the local cats. I mean, they need love too. Oh, let's see. Hmm. It's nice, ain't it? It's the only hope we have is the biblical hope. Honestly, that's just my belief. Oh, thank you. Thank you, thank you. It's nice. It's definitely merciful. Um, well, a few things. A friend of mine, not a friend of mine, just somebody, a kid that I watch on YouTube, inspired me to start my own YouTube. But I had already been thinking about it for a while, and a lot of people are doing really well on YouTube. They're making money. I would like to do some type of monetary. That would be really great someday, like to do something, spend your time and be able to contribute in some way. Like, I was like, that would be so awesome. Because if YouTube pays you to sit on camera and to talk and do what you like at home, and why not try, right? So that's where I'm at. I'm going to try. But I also like to talk to people. I like to encourage people and inspire people as well, as much as possibly can. Right, I thought it was a good gig too. I was like, you got to put a little investment up front, but it might work. It might work if you've got the time to put into it and try to keep some type of interest going. I don't have like a niche per se. That's kind of where I'm lacking. So that's okay. They say you can figure it out as you go, but I just don't really specialize in a lot. So I was always more like a hands-on type of person. You can tell by my jobs that I've had. You look, this is my first painting. I don't know if I could go full Bob Ross. I'm no Picasso over here. Uh, that's funny to me. I like watching Bob Ross painting. His, yeah. I said I like watching him painting as if he's still here, but his old. That's what I watched his video with, and I ordered um, his stuff. Like so I didn't finish watching the process that I wanted to take, but I just wanted to try and blend, and now yeah, just working on it. Yeah, it does, most definitely. He is a legend. He is definitely there. I can, far as back as I can remember. Mr. Mr. Rogers. Remember that? He was a legend too. I um yeah, not I don't have any actually like personally, because I haven't done a lot of lives actually. And so I'm just starting going live on YouTube. I really just did some short videos on YouTube, but trying to get into more long form content. I do like true crime, so I like to see crime wrapped up or followed up on. But uh, I do see people being stupid on YouTube all the time, though, because I'm a monitor for another bigger YouTuber who's like into bushcraft, and I can see people get really out there. Whoa. Question on crime. Yes. Like, the lady in the box case. In a suitcase? Like in Seattle here? There's that one. There's one out of Japan. Uh, hmm. No, not the one out of Japan either. Yeah, I don't know. That is the stuff nightmares are made out of, okay? Yeah, that is crazy. That right there is insane. Wow. Wow, really? Whew. Mm-mm. Yeah, I've heard of that. I've heard of that. Um, I never thought it was real until I heard the story on YouTube, and I was like, what? It's actually real? It's crazy. I have a few killers from our town to our city. Oh, yeah. She would come back. Oh, wow. Yeah. Uh, quite a few people are like that. Yeah. Our most notorious one is probably, it's a toss-up. I don't know if you, Ted Bundy, and he killed a lot of women in the local area. And then, if you've ever heard of the Green River Killer, he was recently caught. Gary Ridgway, he's a local one as well. We've had some notorious ones, like our Jesus, growing up, we had kids being snatched up right and left, and we thought like there was a serial killer in the area. Like, I mean, within a 15-mile radius, there's girls going missing, or no, being murdered. Little classmates, 13-year-olds. And after forensic and everything came out, it was different, two different people on those cases. I was like, wow. Yeah, a lot of women thought he was very attractive. He was very smart. He was smart, very smart. And that's where I think he would get the other people that if it wasn't his looks, it was his mind. So he's a good manipulator as well. But he was his own lawyer, I think, as well. Yeah. He's a pretty smart guy. Yeah. Uh, she the one that there's a couple of them, but there's one that was able to grab the doorknob on the door, and she was able to get out of the car that way. And then after that, they took the doorknob off the door, so their victims couldn't escape that way. It was horrible. Oh boy, that's too bad. In the mall parking lot. Yeah, you gotta be. But that's how I got my interest into true crime, though, is because where the way we grew up with all these killers and stuff. I'm like, it's just a resolution. Like these guys are caught now, and they'll be caught because of forensic science now. Like you can't just get away with being a serial killer like that. It's not gonna happen. I mean, you'd have to be really good. Hmm. Whoa. I don't remember. What was that? I don't remember what reference that was. Mm, that's true, for sure. Yeah, it'll be brought into the light for in front of everybody. So yeah, think about that. Oh wow. Am I a gun person? Uh, yeah. I mean, some people aren't, but I think that you need to have a gun if you're gonna hunt. So you kind of gotta have guns. Not saying I'm a big hunter, but you never know if I need to hunt, right? So I mean, and self-defense, yeah, unfortunately, like that's a big part. But most of it isn't so much self-defense for me. I think it's more like I'm weird. Yeah, like I like to shoot. That's the thing. Like I like, you know, um, she'd find all your guns. I used to be like that about knives too. Hoard my knives. Um, but sorry. Yeah, I mean, I'm not. I know it's. I don't know. Yeah, yeah. I always carried knives too. But the thing is, I quit carrying them because, like, geez, everybody thinks you're carrying a weapon these days. Oh my God. Actually, I do have one still in my purse. I have this purse, and right up here there's a pocket, and I just carry my knife in there. Even when you're asleep. I used to have them in my side drawers all over me. I'd carry my knife. Like, it wasn't even for weapon purposes necessarily, but for practical purposes. Like, remember I told you we were bushcraft, so you're supposed to carry a knife, a pocket knife. Like, everything you do in life, you gotta use a pocket knife for. Yeah, they're tools. So, like, it's not just a weapon. It's, and then people are, oh, they're weapons. You know, I thought that was interesting when I found out that, some countries have serious problems with knives, but those are usually the countries that are outlawed guns. But yet you have all these stabbings and killings with knives, and I'm like, so now they've all outlawed the knives, and I'm like, wait, what? If it's not, it kind of just shows like if it wasn't the guns, and so we're in, the knives, and now, yeah, the object isn't the problem, it's the people. Like, yeah, it's unfortunate. Right. Right, and then bricks, etc. Because that's just, what are you carrying that brick over there for, son? Freeze! Drop the brick! No, I don't know. Oh God! Right back where we started. I don't know. Might come full circle like that, but this is taking a while, but it's coming together. Yeah, I'm thinking that I need to too. It's getting late. It's late. It is late. So I appreciate you coming over and chatting with me, Clayton. Yeah, definitely. Nice to meet you too. Stop by again and say hi. I'd like to follow up with you. See how you're doing. Nice to meet you. Thank you. Appreciate that. Thank you. Yours as well. So far, this is what we got. Yep. Absolutely, amen. Thank you. Always. Nice talking to you. Yeah. Boy, I'm almost done here. Mm. Yeah. Colors are crazy. How's it going? Clean up my brushes. Yep. I think that'll do it tonight. But thank you everybody for watching and staying the night painting. Hopefully it'll come together. I'll finish it later. But you know, you guys take care. Take care of yourself, especially now. So if you haven't liked and subscribed, do so I can catch you again. All right. Have a good night. Bye.